World War III. You don't have to look for the news. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wonder. It's already here. And it's been here for a while. And it is not what you think. It is way worse than that. There was a prophecy from some rabbi many years ago. World War I was bad. But they said that the war that would follow would make World War I look like a kindergarten. And it did. And then they said that the war that would follow the next great war would make World War II look like a child's play, and that this war would be the worst of them all. And indeed it is. Because unlike World War I and World War II, which centered around the death of the flesh, this war is centered around the death of your soul. And it is much, much worse. This is the spiritual world war.
And the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but are mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. There's the puppet masters, are not skull and bones and the Illuminati, but the demon spirits behind it. And the scientists and psychologists, psychiatrists, demon, right? Some sort of ethereal, esoterics, psychopathy, psychiatric, mental, immaterial entity, spirit, thoughts. And everything is a thought life. The words are born in your thought. As a man thinketh, so is he. Right? Words, what are words? But the materialization, the manifestation materially of something esoteric and ethereal, something non-material, thoughts, energy, electrical impulses, vibrations and frequencies in the ether, and the paradigm of the epigenetic realm, where you're able to understand that's the realm of the divine and the lesser divine, the demon. And in that realm, the power behind the material power is what manifests everything. Everything is in the thought. Every architect first dreams and imagines before it's ever written in the schematic or manifested in molds, clays, and concrete, metal, and steel. So that's where the battle really always is, isn't it? Isn't that where the battle really is? That psyche level, that spirit divine level. And when you pass, when I pass, when we leave this material realm, that energy goes back into the source of its original place. And when you understand that, the emphasis is not on all of these physical manifestations, the byproduct really of the spiritual war, the things that we've gone through mentally, emotionally, that irrational, charismatic energy within logic, expressed in emotion, rather it's excitement and silliness or depression and weariness. All of it comes from the fact that you are more spirit than you are material, which is why you can get in a car accident and lose an arm and lose a leg and all kind, burn your hair, but you're still you. You can gain weight, but you're still you. That husband that's rejecting you, he really isn't rejecting you. He's rejecting your body. I don't story of how many of us know those stories? Women that get too fat for their husbands and they're having affairs. Are they rejecting the woman? No, they're rejecting the body. But then you get those women and they have perfect bodies but horrible attitudes. Are they rejecting the body? No. but they're rejecting the woman, the nagginess, the manipulation, the nastiness. And that a man like that he may find another woman who is less physically attractive because the mental ugliness was so severe. He doesn't care about that now. He'd rather have someone who's pleasant to be around. Other men, she dresses well, she looks well, but she can't cook. And for some of you men who are so overtaken by physical intimacy, you won't understand that. But a lot of men, they want to feel like they have a real woman. Some will say, a mother. They want to feel like they can come home to a good meal, a woman that gives them joy more than gives them the physical interaction. So it goes back to what you value. When you don't value your spirit, the emphasis will be the alcohol, the drugs, the politics, the clothing, the exercise, the money. Yeah. But when you value your spirit, the real you, the real realm of your existence, you're able to fight against those other powers, those lower, what they call lower vibrational powers, the beggar existence. Just feed me, or just food and sex and fun and adrenaline. The rest doesn't matter. I just want to have fun. That guy, when I on my morning walk, he's always on the playground doing exercise. I asked him, "What are you doing exercise?" "Oh, get my exercise to work off the beer. Get myself ready. I'm going to drink tonight." How many people do that? And it's all because your emphasis is what's motivating you isn't the spirit realm. It's it's the physical realm, but is being manipulated by the war in heavenly realms and heavenly places, or in demonic realms, demonic places. So we are kind of in between the war zone. Basically, there is the will of God and the non-will of God, and the human being in the middle. And you're being pulled. Which way are you going to go? And the battles become even stronger than they've ever been. The same battles, they're not new. They just have intensified.
Yeah, so that's an important thing to mention. The battle itself has always been. It's from the very beginning. That's not World War III. No, World War III is the climax. Remember, what is a world war? All nations are engaged together. Worldwide web. Have you ever thought about it? You ever put it together? The whole world has become one neighborhood. The World Wide Web, a spider's web, a conglomerate of all the nations now. You can see in real time things happening at the opposite side of the earth in real time, a matter of nanoseconds. And everybody knows what's going on, and everybody can put up their face and stream an audio or a video. You're listening to my podcast from Israel. Steven is California. We're doing a podcast live, international. Now, we're using this technology for good, but most do not. This whole media as a tool, as what it is the vehicle of the adversary. It is a means of destruction. And deep down everybody knows it. You just never put it together as far as a spiritual warfare, but we all know. Netflix said once, when they were asked, who is your biggest competition? Is it Hulu? Is it Voodoo? Is it this? They go, no. Our biggest competition is sleep. That should tell you everything by itself. They're not fighting against other platforms. They're fighting against your sleep. How many of you open your phone, you start scrolling, you wanna spend 5 minutes, then you find out it's been 5 hours. And it's 3 a.m. and you're still scrolling through your phone on Instagram or YouTube or all these other things that are sucking the soul out of your body.
And that started really in the 50s with soap operas on television. Women, your mothers and grandmothers were addicted. Fathers would come home from work. Back then, mostly the women were home and the men went off to the plants and the manufacturing. That kind of changed after World War II. And more women began to be in the workforce because they had to be in the workforce while the men were all fighting the war. And at the end of the day, what happens? Man comes home, nothing's been done. Her hair hasn't been done, her clothes haven't been done, the house hasn't been done, the kids are running around in diapers with poop running out. What have you been doing, women, all day? Soap operas. Sat down and they watched those soap operas one after another. That was a big thing. Most of you don't know that. Ask your mothers and grandmothers about it. Soap operas, As the World Turns, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, soap operas, soap operas, soap operas. And it was such a big thing that you couldn't go to church on Sunday without hearing a message from a preacher about the women addicted to soap operas. And then it went from soap operas to kids with cartoons, 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 cartoons. Get your homework done, turn it off. After that, you can watch the cartoons, the cartoons, the cartoons, the cartoons. And then after that, from the cartoons, it went to the Tuesday night, Monday night movies. ABC, CBS, NBC, all of the different Monday night movies, the sitcoms, the weekly series. I failed to mention the radio era before then. Everything was done on radio. And all of these things came to bear on robbing you of your time. Families would get together and they would just, those radio dramas, listen to that big radio, sit around and hear all kinds of things. And then what happens? Video games. Ah, that's a big one, isn't it? The video games. Now, the video games in the music era, kids listening to Black Sabbath and heavy metal and grunge metal and dungeon metal and satanic songs and playing the songs backwards so you can hear. Yeah, the whole music. All they would do, play music, play music, play music, play music, play music, play music. And you walked around with the big speakers, and before they ever had the walkmans in your head, to keep you inundated, indoctrinated, to have that constant beat, that constant rap, that constant song, that constant metal, that constant rock. And that's you're in school and you just got the earplugs in your ear and you're just rocking, 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 banging your head, banging your head. Hair's long, rebellious. Now you look like you came out of prison. Kids go to school, clothes half torn, black makeup, tattoos, chains, just the influence.
And think about it. That is the fulfillment of Devarim 6, train up your child, right? The tefillin, the constant reminder on your arm, in front of your eyes. Yeah, but instead of doing it for the Lord and His word, you're doing it for the devil and his songs. And you have to put it together to understand the spiritual warfare, because God is the creator of heaven and earth, is not an artifact of religion. This is what you've been taught by the lies of the devil. Oh, you don't need God. It's just religion. It doesn't really matter. What matters is just do what you love. Just enjoy life. Just the pursuit of happiness.
And it's not really doing what you love. Do what we love. We're going to tell you what to love. You want to watch this cartoon. You know you want to put down the vacuum cleaner. You don't want to make that meal for the children. Have a frozen dinner. Sit down for another hour and watch another soap opera. Play that Sony PlayStation, that Xbox. People missed work, missed school. Those video games, next thing you know, you're sitting there for hours. The phone is just an extension of soap. It's all of this. It's the same thing. It's just a new dress. It's just the same thing. It's a phone. What's that? Soap operas, sitting on the radio, rock, heavy metal, sitcoms, and video games and Xbox. And instead, you could have trained your children like the Amish were doing. You could have trained your children like those who were homeschooling. The homeschool children don't have this problem. They resisted it. You didn't. So you saw them as strange and odd when you were the one that was the strange and odd one, because you're outside of your normal human program. You looked at them as if they were being deprived. They've got less. Oh, those poor children. The mother makes their clothes. Yeah. They don't have to pay 1,000% over what the pants are worth at Sears or J.C. Penney's because she's making the pants. And they're able to invest their time and their money into their children, raising them properly in a home without having their children be raised by a television. Can you imagine? You're teaching Torah, and when you're done, you say, okay, you go ahead and watch Freddie on Elm Street. So you go from teaching your children what to do and then letting the television, which was much more exciting, music, colors, special effects, stimulation, dopamine, telling them how to think, how to believe, and telling them who's pretty and who's not. What you should desire, look what he desires. That's what you should desire. Look what he's eating. That's what you should eat. Look what he's drinking. So, what do? You give them 2 hours of a service at a church and let them spend the rest of their hours at a baseball game, at a movie theater, sitting in front of a television, canceling out everything you've just taught them, only filling it and replacing it with something far more exciting and stimulating to a child's brain that just makes him go crazy like sugar. It's an excitogen, it's a mental excitogen. But you don't care about your children because you know what? You don't care. It's not the child. You don't want, you're bored. You want to exercise and drink or do whatever else you're doing, soap operas, because you don't really want to take in the time to raise the child. Let the television. Instead of talk to the child, put a television in the back of the seat, keep the child's mind constantly indoctrinated. You know, parents put television in their own cars. You can't, the child can't get away with it, get away from it because of you. I was at an aquarium where people are walking and talking with their children. No. Parents, modern parents in their tight yoga pants and him in his gym shorts, pushing a brand new baby in a stroller. Both parents were on their phones while they were walking. And the baby in the stroller, when I looked back, was on the phone. The baby has a little baby phone. Must have been maybe 1.5 to 2 years old. And he's in the stroller, not even looking at where he's at, not looking at this aquarium and the grounds. No, 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 no. Wow. That's not fiction. That's fact and the reality. World War III has been in process for over 20 years.
And it's been growing, like you said. It started off small. You had one radio at the house, one television, one phone. You can't everybody talk at the same time. You pick it up, hey, I'm on the phone. Now everybody's got a phone. TV? Everybody's got a TV. Computer? Everybody got it. You don't have to go to the video store and enter through the back under the curtain to get to the X rating. No, you just go on your phone and access all of those X websites. And it's so much more accessible. And even if you don't actually go to that, it will come to you. Have you ever heard of ads? I don't even have to go to these things. I just open YouTube and you see ads of naked women. Well, 90% naked, right? Because you can't put naked. So we'll just put them 90% naked with something that will so tight that will show you the crack of their butt. And you can't escape it. And even if you're not on your phone, just go outside. Billboards are everywhere. And the naked women are everywhere. So there's no escape. The war for your mind to pollute you, to turn you against holiness, and to turn you against God, it's everywhere. Not to mention, we did not even forget, don't worry, the war of propaganda. That's a big one. Look what's going on with Israel and Gaza, right? Palestine. It's not Palestine, just Gaza. It's a war of propaganda. How millions of people around the world have been indoctrinated into siding with the terrorists, as if the terrorists are the victims here. World War III.
And in America, abortion was an anomaly, not anymore. You've got people siding with the abortionists. Gay marriage, but you don't even say that word, you whisper it. You've got people marching and proclaiming it, bragging about it. You're odd if you're not for it. And before all of that, it was common law marriage. Back in the 60s, people that were moving in with their girlfriends. I mean, that was, listen, Talk to the people that lived in the 60s. They'll tell you. in the early 70s to the mid 70s. What? He moved in with who? They're shacking up? I mean, this was like a cultural nuclear bomb being dropped. Now, what do you mean you're not living with your girlfriend? People would know, what do you mean you're not living with your boyfriend? What do you mean you're against gay? It doesn't matter who you love. What do you mean the man wants to be a woman? What's wrong with that? What do you mean what's wrong with that? Hey, leave him alone. If he wants to put on a dress, wow. You were fired for anything like that. Now it's celebrated. It's celebrated. Not just celebrated, it's promoted. Not just promoted. You are criminalized if you don't bake a gay cake at your bakery. If you are not supporting it, you can't work here. You know that? I was told that.
Yeah, they call it tolerance. Tolerance, well, what's next? Pedophiles? Necrophiles? People sleeping with animals? Well, they already do that. And you can see how the tables have turned. The propaganda have been going for so long now, and it's so strong, and it's like water. Water through a rock. Slowly but surely, it's gonna break through that rock. You know, the adversary is not stupid. You are. He's been doing this for a long time. He knows how to get to you. And anyone who's not grounded in truth is gonna be handed over to the delusion of your mind. That's in the scripture. The Lord turns you over because you reject the truth in your heart.
And you have rejected the truth. It's a slow drip and you have rejected it. You don't have to blame anybody, really. Look in the mirror. You don't want God. And it's proven by Guy and I know that. We know that. We know that. You guys, you'll make time for a woman. You won't make time for a Bible study. You won't make time for a spiritual session of study. You'll make time for a psychiatrist or a psychologist, a chiropractor, a therapist, a massage therapist, a hot yoga guy. You'll make time for a trainer at a gym, a Peloton. Oh, yeah.
Well, and not just that. Those things you might even say they have some value, but no, you'll make time to binge watch the rest of Netflix. You'll sit there until 4 a.m. for 6-7 hours straight watching TV, but you don't have 40 minutes to listen to a sermon that's going to radically change your life.
Oh, no. They'll spend hundreds of dollars to go to a World Series game. I've asked for support for the ministry that I do with soldiers and in Israel and the work I do. Oh, no. Oh, no. Get a job. Demons. Wow. But they'll give their money. These same demons will give their money to a liquor store. They'll give their money to a hotel. They'll give their money to a casino. You guys are just demonic. You've been possessed, what you do. All of a sudden, let it be a woman, let it be a dog. I went to the park the other day. They had a balloon for the number 4. I thought it was for a human baby. It was for a dog. Let it be for a sports franchise. Let it be to just sit on a beach somewhere with a cocktail and a beer. You're already gone. Your actions every week, every day, and every month prove it. And what makes it worse is that the Bible says, I will turn you over to a delusional mind. You're so gone that you can't even see it. That's the proof that your conscience has been seared, the Bible says. Did you know that? Many of you, your consciences are seared. You can't even see clearly that the rain is gone. No, that the rain is even falling. You don't even recognize it. You've been seared. You've gone so far that, like Pharaoh, God's allowed your heart to lose all semblance of anything fleshy, and it is a stone rock.
So of course you celebrate Halloween, because you all are zombies. You all are the undead. That's why zombies are so popular. The Walking Dead, that's you. You're spiritually and mentally dead.
And no reason to be that way.
Yeah, so think about it. You think World War II was worse because your body was dying because of the Holocaust and the things the Jews went through? I got news for you. All of those Jews that died, they're not in hell. They're in paradise being comforted just like Lazarus in Abraham's bosom. Much better to be killed in the gas chamber of Hitler and enter the paradise of God than to live in Casa de Cabo, wherever you live in your mansions in Hollywood and the rest of them, and die and go to hell. Because you all are like the rich man. And that is the World War III. You're not seeing it in front of your eyes, but you already are dead. You just don't know it yet.
And they were killed. They weren't killing themselves. They were killed. The transatlantic slaves from West Africa were enslaved. They didn't enslave themselves. How worse is it when no one's done it to you, but you've done it to yourself? Why? The Lord really sacrificed the Torah. What is it for? To save you from someone else or to save you from yourself? The shackles of sin. So it gets compounded because you enslave yourself and then you invite other people to join you in that slavery. Hey, I'm going to beat myself real quick. Hey, come and help me beat myself. And then they beat you. I'm going to kill myself. Come and help to kill me. And everyone will help to kill you. Oh, come on, drink another one. Smoke this, try this. Oh, come on. Don't be a coward. Come on. You get edged on to do something. Now, not only are you someone that can be influenced, but then you grow on to influence others. And the worst people that you grow on to influence, that it's the worst judgment on all of you, are your children. Not just your friends and the neighbor, but your children. The very things that come out of your own body. Now you're drinking, cursing, fighting in front of them. Now you're perverting them. Now you fill them with Disney indoctrination, Halloween, the violation of God's resurrection day, making it about Easter eggs, chocolate, and the fertility pagan practices of foreign gods. And then you fuel their day with trees, and you're giving corporations God's money to worship a pagan holiday, when you could use all of that to support God's kingdom, to help the poor, to minister. But no. World War III, most of you are already in the devil's holocaust. You're in his gas chambers, his torture chambers. And he does it without pushing you in. You willingly go through that door, through that gate, and you bring your children along. And then you encourage others to come with you. And if someone should stand outside that gas camp and try to tell you to come out of it, don't go in it. You mock us, attack us, demonize us for wanting to save you. God help you if you don't recognize that you've already taken the mark of the beast. You're already in the system of the Antichrist, and you become one of his patrons. The Lord sends you opportunity to rescue you, and you say no thank you. God help you.
The Mashiach said, "Broad is the road that leads to death. Many do walk it. Narrow is the road that leads to life, and very few find it." Another prophecy fulfilled. How many people are actually advocating for the truth of God, and how many for the devil? everything else but God is the devil.